Goddess Chrissy. I'm going to be doing a reading on Charlie Kirk. Kirk, yeah. It's a lot of fanfare going on right now about Charlie Kirk. To be honest with you guys, I never heard this name before a day in my life. I actually came across what happened to him because my son asked me if I knew him. And I told my son, no, I didn't. And so my son tells me, well, he got shot today. And I said, oh, okay. And so my son begins to explain to me that he's a controversial guy. And you know, when your kids talk to you and you're doing something, you're like half listening to them, half doing what you're doing. And so he tells me, so I asked my son, like, okay, is he okay? And my son says, no, he died. And I said, oh, okay, that's good. And so my son, both of my sons now at this point is looking at me crazy. And they're like, what the heck? What do you mean? And I'm like, what happened? And they're like, Mom, he died. And I said, oh, wow, okay. I thought that you said he was okay. And so I say that story just to say, one, how I found out about this, but also there's a message in there as well. The message is when Charlie's family found out that there was a shooting, they were like, oh, okay, you know, they didn't know that Charlie was hurt. They didn't know that he was shot. And even if some did know he was shot, they didn't know that he was dead. And I believe he died immediately, like on the spot. Just got hit in the neck, you know, a main artery, you know, and he was gone instantly. But when his family had heard of the news, they were in such disbelief that they were like, no, he's okay. He's not hurt. Nothing's happened to him. Everything is fine. And then again, there's others, once they found out about what happened, and I'm not talking about the family, I'm just talking about people in general, were like, oh, okay, that's good. You know, good for him. And so there's so much controversy with people saying what they have to say, whether positive or negative. And it just goes to show how much separation is still involved in people's mindsets and the way that they're thinking about the decisions that people make, right? So I'm going to go into this reading. I want to find out if there is any conspiracy as to, you know, if someone had planned on killing him in one of our organizations or anything like that. Really get into what kind of guy he was, because like I said, I don't know anything about him. But also another thing that source brought to me was smell. So I was smelling vomit, right? So I'm getting that his wife is very, very distraught, as you can imagine at this time. And she's throwing up a lot, but she's throwing up in private. And so I feel like she's someone that's always struggled with her weight. I'm not too sure. I think it's bulimia for those who have the illness where they throw up the food that they eat. So okay, hold on. How can I put this? She suffered from weight loss, like going up and down for quite some time now. And at this time, it's really flaring up because she's feeling, they're telling me, it's symbolic. Like she's feeling such a huge loss that she doesn't even want to hold in any nutrients because of what she's lost. Does that make sense? So there's nothing that she can eat. There's nothing that she can drink that will soothe the pain that she's having. So she doesn't want anything that's going to bring her sustenance. Like it's a mental thing for her. Okay. So I'm going to go into Charlie Kirk and his personality. And I'm not really going to get into too much of the controversial stuff. If it comes up, then it comes up in the cards. But I just want to see what kind of person he was and what source wants to reveal to us about that. Okay, so you guys already know, those of you who have watched my videos before, I have my archetype cards. Source, tell us what you want us to know about Charlie Kirk and his personality. What kind of person was he, Source, when he was here on Earth? Oh, a card. Okay, 2 cards flipped out. So I'm just going to pick one in the middle here. Okay, we got damsel. All right. And these are the other 2. Okay, so again, I was just talking about, that's the card that I pulled out in the middle of the deck. And I was just talking about his wife. And you've heard the phrase, you know, damsel in distress. She's in a lot of pain and hurt right now. So, but we're talking about also about Charlie, right? For some reason, I want to call him by his last name, Kirk, so I'm going to say Kirk. It says, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. Shadow side, waiting for a night to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. So what that tells me is that Kirk was the breadwinner. You know, he was the one that took care of the household. And for his wife, he was the love of her life. So she feels like a part of her is now gone. And what this also tells me is that Kirk's spirit is also in shambles over leaving his wife. And at the same time, he's worried about his wife because, I don't know, do they have 2 kids? I'm getting like 2 kids, a boy and a girl. But whatever the case is, he's worried that she won't be able to take care of their kids because of the emotional spiral that she's gonna go down through because of his death. He was a romantic. He had much of like a feminine nature when it came to being in a relationship with his wife. So I would say that she carried on more of a masculine role in the relationship than he played. They were also able to see eye to eye with one another because they really balanced each other out. I believe that they were each other's soulmates. And so they had a very healthy marriage, a loving marriage. He knew his role in the marriage and she knew her role, and they balanced off each other very well. Okay. All right, let's see here. We have the child wounded and we have it in reverse. All right, so I'm going to read it. It says, so the light attribute is awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. So I feel like Kirk was brought on this earth because he was supposed to bring people together and actually share compassion and help young people, right, who have gone through certain experiences within their lives and help them to embrace forgiveness. Now, because it was in reverse, it says blames all dysfunctional relationship on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So a lot of the reason why Kirk sprouted all of these negative, what some would call falsehoods, right, depending on the perspective and the opinion, is because there was some dysfunctional relationships he had either in his childhood, in his family, or in his past life. And so due to that karmic connection, it reflected in his life on this lifetime. Okay? Now, because he had that underlying issue, it was very hard for him to move on from that. It was very difficult for him to forgive people if people did him wrong. He just let them go. He never gave them a chance to explain. And even if he still continued to be around whoever that is that he felt did him wrong, he did not trust that person. He did not have them in his inner circle, and he very much would talk shit about them. Okay? And that's another thing. Like, his wife keeps coming up. They're definitely from the same soul group. She also has something within her lineage that is dysfunctional, and that is another part that brought them together. Like I said, they're like yin and yang. They really understood each other, and they were each other's, I'm getting like shooting star, North Star. Okay. Well, we have rescuer in reverse as well. The light attribute provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Okay, so yeah, what I'm telling you guys is that Kirk was supposed to come to Earth and really help others, you know, help others to be, to act in have acts of love, to help out one another. And he may have done that to a certain degree, but he was very biased with who he did it with. As you can see, this is a light person in the picture. And so he was willing to save those of his own kind, but those of different shades were didn't need rescuing. And so because of his biasness, he wasn't able to fulfill completely his role here on Earth, because his role was to spread love, not biasness. Okay? So the shadow attribute, which is what source is reflecting on here because it was in reverse, is assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Okay? So he felt as though, let's not deal with those other people over there, those minorities over there. They don't need rescuing. Okay? You go and rescue them, they're going to keep needing you to rescue them. They're very dependent on the help of others. They can't help themselves. Okay? All right. So he was very judgmental in that respect. All right. Okay. All right. That was a lot of energy there. I want to go into a little bit about his wife real quick and how she is doing emotionally. I already went into how she's feeling physically with feeling physically ill and not the best right now at all. I feel like the grandparents are definitely stepping in and taking care of the children, and that's going to have to go on for another year or two. Because even though on the outside she may seem that all is well, his wife is not okay. And she's not going to be okay for about a year or two. It's going to be some time. How is she doing? Firestorm. What did I tell you guys about the karma? Okay, the drinking is also probably allowing her to have, be throwing up because she's like self-medicating. She can't handle it. It's too much. Look at that mental breakdown. Mentally, it's too much. Okay? Look at this. Bottom of the deck, memories, looking at pictures. That definitely makes it worse. And thinking about her children. When her children asked for their father, what she tells them, what can she tell them, how she can be there for them. On the outside, this is what she needs to be, but however on the inside, this is what she's feeling. So like I said, you're gonna see her out and about as if she's okay, she's coping well, but mentally, physically, and within herself, she's not okay. And rightfully so, right? All right, let's see. How does Charlie Kirk's Spirit feel about passing the way he did? How does Charlie Kirk's spirit feel about passing the way he did? Wow, look at that. Funeral, living in the moment. So I feel like Charlie hasn't gone through the pearly gates yet. I feel like he's still here among the living. That's why it says living in the moment. He's waiting until his wife says her final goodbyes. And then I'm also getting to that his wife is going to be with someone, even if it's like a fling or something quick, not anytime right now, but it's going to be someone that's close to them, maybe like a friend of his or something like that. And this friend is just going to kind of be there to console her during this difficult time. And so they're going to have their moment with one another at a certain point. But for right now, that's neither here or there. Anyway, so so Kirk's spirit is still around. After the funeral, that's when he's going to decide, okay, it's time for me to go through the gates of heaven. Okay. But again, bottom of the deck, he is worried about his wife. Okay. All right. But as far as him passing, he's not saying anything about that. He's not saying anything about that. Charlie Kirk's spirit, how does it feel about the person who shot him? How does Charlie Kirk's spirit feel about the person who shot him? Look at that. Wow. It's like he's an asshole, you know. He doesn't have any sense. He's a clown. He doesn't even know what to do. It's like he didn't even have a game plan. You know what I mean? Like all he thought through was, getting to me, but he didn't think anything after that. Like this dude is, he's like, this dude is so dumb. He's so dumb. And basically it says mirroring. It's like, so the same way that he did me, they're gonna do him. So he's gonna have the same ending as I do. So it didn't even make sense what he did. How does the guy that did the shooting against Charlie Kirk, how does the guy that killed Charlie Kirk, how does he feel? How does he feel? Okay, so I feel like the guy that shot Charlie Kirk was turned in by his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. Yeah, look at the bottom of the deck. Backstabbed, pain, cheating, deception, mind games, popping the question. So this could actually be an ex-wife or wife of his that turned him in. Okay. Let me ask here, why did this guy shoot Charlie Kirk? Source, why did he shoot him? Why did he do it? Family. No strings. Fed up. Heartbreak. This is looking like a love relationship. What the heck? It looked like this guy was pissed off and heartbroken about a situation with a partner that he's with. Okay, let me ask another question. What does Charlie have to do with this guy's relationship? What does Charlie have to do with that source? Show me in the cards, please. Wow. Okay, so it is possible, guys, that this guy's... Look at that. So it is possible that this guy that shot Charlie Kirk, not Charlie Kirk, but the guy that did the shooting, so the murderer, right? The alleged murderer, his significant other may have had something with Charlie Kirk. Yeah, look, I keep getting love and backstab. Like, he felt like he was backstabbed. He felt like the person he was with did him wrong, and Charlie Kirk was involved in that. Let me ask again, why did this guy who killed Charlie, sis, why did he want to hurt Charlie? Under pressure, time is running out. Mirroring. Shocking news. Ghosted. Ashamed. Secret accounts. Yeah, something is going on here. There's something that this guy found out that he did not like, and he reacted. Again, we have living in the moment and Jezebel. Okay. Really interesting. I'm getting too that this guy mentally is not well either. How does this guy that killed Charlie Kirk, how does he feel about it now? How does he feel that he accomplished what he set out to do? Source. How does this guy feel now? Mirroring. Fake busy. Shocking news. Everybody's shocked. It's like he's just looking at all the outrage and everything that's coming out about the killing, and for him, it seems like he's a bit more pissed off because he feels like it just put more attention towards Charlie Kirk, and it just gave more love towards Charlie Kirk. Like, you know, even the president is coming out and saying what a good guy this guy is, and praising him and all of that. So things are not going exactly as planned as the way that this guy wanted it to be. He didn't expect it was going to be like this. Now let me ask this. I'm going to ask with my other cards. Source, why did this man kill Charlie Kirk? What was the reason? Yeah, I'm still getting that he had someone in his life that had cut him off and no longer wanted anything to do with him. And not only that, but he also caught this person in a relationship with Charlie Kirk. That's what I'm getting, guys. Let me ask, cause let me see. Just making sure all my cards are upright. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna shuffle the cards in front of you guys, and we're gonna see together if there was something going on here. Let me see. So did Charlie Kirk have something going on with a person that this murderer, alleged murderer, knew? Did Charlie Kirk have something going on with someone that this alleged murderer knew? If so, show me. Yeah, it's like being caught and being judged. It's like I'm gonna make you pay for your crimes type of thing. And then it's the sacrifice, like here's the woman there. Yeah, it's like reaping judgment over someone that you feel is on the wrong side of the law or something. Okay, it's pretty interesting. Let's see here. What's gonna happen to this guy that shot Charlie Kirk? Source. What's gonna happen to this guy? Message of concern, despair. Okay, so this guy to me is like just kind of ready to die or give up his life. High honor, courthouse. Okay. Oh, this card fell. Man, female. Okay, I'm getting too that Charlie Kirk is gonna have like a military salute type funeral. Like the military is gonna be there. I wouldn't even be surprised Donald Trump may be there in an undisclosed area, allegedly. Tell us more. What's gonna happen with this guy? I feel like this guy has a kid too, one daughter or one son. It just keeps showing despair for this guy. Despair, like great fortune despair, meaning there's a lot on his head. So if they do catch him, they're definitely gonna torture him, and we'll never hear from him again. Let's see here. Let me see. I'm curious what past life Charlie Kirk has with this guy. Source, what past life does Charlie Kirk have with the person who shot him? What past life does this stem from? I feel like it's something spiritual and religious, because it's talking about a judgment. You guys saw that flew out. The arts, scribe or writer. It's the bottom of the deck. Wisdom. Okay. So they do come from the unicorn family. And they did write music together. They wrote music together in a past life, him and this the shooter. What else? Tell me one more thing, Source. Well, Native American. Okay. So they were in a Native American or a communal type living environment in their past life with one another. And again, I told you it's very religious, trust and faith. So there was definitely a spiritual undertone to the past life that's connected to this one here. I feel like in that communal living, there was like a sacrifice that needed to be made, and they were a part of the same tribe, and one of them sacrificed the other, but it was a part of the ritual. So there wasn't no ill intent involved. Okay, and I think spiritually speaking, it's the same in this case as well. All right, so I'm going to ask my final question, which is, what did we need to learn from this? Because with everything that happens, especially on the world stage, there's always a lesson to be learned or something to understand from it. So, Source, what did we learn from this or need to learn from this? What is the message here with what happened to this man? What do we need to learn from that? Cosmic womb, the divine feminine. All right, let me read what Source wants us to know. You see how bright that is? Shining a light on something for sure. All right, and the book says, the cosmic womb is a reminder that you're undergoing a beautiful process of birthing a new self into being. You don't know who or what it is yet, but you know it's full of life and love and passion and spirit. It's the perfect expression of you, imbued with love incarnate and ignited by the vital spark received from the divine. If you've had a difficult time in recent memory, feeling dry and stagnant or lost and unsupported, this is changing right now. You will feel newly inspired as so many ideas beckon your attention. Know that you're safe to explore the expression of your rejuvenated creativity, releasing all judgment as your curiosity is piqued. Remember I mentioned that earlier, that was one of the things that Charlie Kirk was supposed to spread, which was releasing judgment. You're in the most fertile cycle of your life right now, intuitively keen with heart wide open, okay? So all of us are in the most fertile cycle of our lives. We can accomplish anything. The portal is open for us, right? Mindful that each step in the direction of your dreams and desires is effortlessly supported by all the divine helpers in the unseen realm. Okay? So all of us are being born again. We have to decide which lifetime do we want to be in. One that continues to spread hate or one that engulfs in love. Okay? And that is the reading. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure to give a thumbs up on the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you for doing so. And until next time, it is Goddess Crissy. Bye.